Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away. Bodies move to the groove and the light that flickers. We get lost in the crowd, it's getting thicker. But get away from the drinks and chatter. Haven't said a word, but it doesn't matter. Feel the air get thinner. Standing in a blurry green. No one else can see us. Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
You're watching JJDrones on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Karl Marx. You're watching JJDrones on YouTube.
I'm Karl Marx and I approve this message.
Don't look much like Los Angeles to me. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Live from the Volvo 780 studios in anywhere USA. This is JJDrones Live. And now, here's JJDrones.
And it's JJDrones Live, coming to you live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Welcome to the train wreck. We have got Peterson Farms of Nashville. We've got Stormy Sky Rail Productions. We've got Cheesehead Media. We've got Chris Wedgeworth. We've got Chris from Shade Tree America. We've got Lane Maybe. We've got baby girl Haley Johnson. And everybody's here for... we got my stepmom, Nancy Naylor's in, and I appreciate everybody for being here today. We are live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you so much for coming in today. If you would like to have your video featured on my website, just email me, Jason at JJDrones360.com, and for everything JJ Drones related, go to JJDrones360.com. And if you would like to help financially support this program, just go to JJDrones360.com/Amazon1. If you're going to do your Amazon shopping anyway, you might as well go on there and help out the program. It's super easy. And then if you would like to submit a video for Blinker Fluid of the Week Awards, email Dan, droningveteran@gmail.com. And if you would like to order one of Haley's coasters, they're $10 each. You can email me, or you can go to paypal.me/JJDrones and tell me what kind of coaster you would like and give me your address, and we will get that out to you as soon as she's able to make it, because she makes them by hand. And I thank everybody for coming in today. Keith Doc Reed, thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate it. We have a special program today, and I'm looking backstage at Carl. My gosh, he's frozen. So we're gonna bring up our special guest and our co-host, and we have our special co-host and the purveyor of Blinker Fluid of the Week Awards. His name is Dan. Say hello to Dan, everybody. And we have our special guest,
What's up, everybody? Can you hear me?
Can hear you, sir.
Okay, good deal.
Carl, how you doing?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Doing
perfect.
good. How are you?
Okay, now
I'm kind of
we're going to say that again, Carl. Earth to Carl, Earth to Carl, Earth to Carl. Come in, Carl.
Can you hear? Carl!
We lost Carl.
Yeah,
Oh, now
hey.
he's back. Did your phone overheat? No?
No.
Oh, you can't hear?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We've got issues with Carl. Carl's going to fix that. And but in the meantime, while Carl is fixing his audio problems, we do have a special guest all the way from across the pond. From across the pond is how they say it in royalty. Let us say hello to the newly coronated. Oops. King Charles.
Hello, cousins. Yes, very good.
Your Majesty.
Proper. That is proper. No off with your head for you. Yeah.
Thank you for coming all the way across the pond to join us on the program today, and it is a distinct honor, Your Majesty, to have you on the program. I know that you are taking place of our friend Fred, and Fred usually raises his right hand, but you can do as you wish, Your Majesty.
Majesty. What?
Your Majesty.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. That was
Yes.
You. Yes.
Of the monarchy.
The monarchy.
The monarchy.
Yes.
Do you have your blinker fluid? It's a little bit chewy.
It is.
I would like to apologize to everybody, across the globe. Camilla's doing the dishes right now, so.
Oh, okay. And let's see if. Okay, can you hear me, Mr. Karl Marx?
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I think it's a thumbs down.
Come on, thumbs up.
It looks like he's having some internet issues in Wisconsin.
Karl Marx.
So hopefully Carl's able to fix his problems. If not, we're going to have him call in. In fact, I'm going to text him right now and let him know that I'm not able to see him.
He has a little minion behind him. Maybe that's holding up the process.
That's
Oh,
probably...
Yes, I see that, yes. Looks like Chucky.
It does. Run, Carl! Run!
Exactly.
So... Haley says, I'm dying and hope this makes it into the Daily Mail. I would hope so.
I want to thank everybody for attending my coronation.
Robert Mac Media, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Chris says, all hail King Charles, the king of burgers. I mean, I think that's safe to say, isn't it?
Yes, just no mayonnaise.
Okay.
Please, no mayonnaise.
Okay, thank you, Your Majesty. My dad says, looks like Lizzie Borden in the background. I'm assuming he's talking about on Carl's feed there. Lane says, run, Carl, he's going to get you.
Yeah, exactly. Chucky's out to get him.
So if he can't join us by video, I already gave him the option that he can call in, but What is our Blinker Flute of the Week award flavor this week, Dan?
Isn't that crunchy nacho?
No, enchilada.
Enchilada. That's the one.
Enchilada. We were gonna go with tequila, but I told Dan
I'm still recovering from 2 weeks ago.
And Your Majesty, you have the gift.
Yes. Cinco de Mayo equals Pepto to 6-0.
In fact, we have our sponsor of the week, Sadie the Sleeping Spaniel, and she has a special message for us this week before we get into Blinker Flute of the Week. So let's go to our sponsor, Sadie the Sleeping Spaniel.
Hey everybody, it's Sadie the Sleeping Spaniel again, and this week we had Cinco de Mayo, and it was so much fun, but I'm still kind of recovering from this week, and I think some of the drivers from our Blinker Flute of the Week Awards have been recovering too. So you're going to have to watch for yourself and make sure you vote for your favorite one. So here's our Blinker Flute of the Week.
And it is Blinker Fluid of the Week. And it is our Blinker Flute of the Week Awards. And we have Carl in by phone. How are you doing, Carl?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. I just want to
it's good to hear you, Carl. I mean,
Hey,
Yeah,
Carl,
I don't
welcome to the party.
I can't see you, but at least I can hear you. And I hope you got some blinker fluid. It's delicious.
I do.
And we're just glad that you weren't taken away by some evil spirit that was
yeah,
behind
that
you.
minion.
Yes.
I was scared. Wayne was too. He told you to run. Did you run?
Yes. People were in fear for your safety, Carl, and so you should feel proud about that.
Oh, I am. Thanks for everybody for your concern, but I'm okay.
So we're going to get into our Blinker Fluid of the Week segment, and when we're done, you're going to be able to vote for your favorite. Well, is it your favorite, or is it just the person of the least amount of driving skills, Dan?
It's a combination.
Okay.
This is a hard one.
It is a very difficult one, and
I have a very a lady really ticked me off.
Yes.
You can guess which one. I didn't cross plates.
Camilla?
No, it wasn't Camilla.
Okay.
I don't think Camilla's allowed to drive, is she? You should know, Charles. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
Sometimes she drags behind, but
So we're going to be jumping into number one, and I know Dan's got a story to tell.
Yes, a little bit. So I'm coming up on 7800 South exit on Bangor Highway. And I look, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a line of traffic. This is going to be fun. And then I hear on the radio, there's some malfunctioning traffic lights. I'm like, oh, well, may as well sit and enjoy. And then this little car just happens to think she can sneak in on me. I tooted my horn right here, and you can't really see it, but there was a little kid in the back, and he kind of looked back at me and was like a little bit nervous.
Mrs. Super Special.
Mrs. Super Special.
Did I just see a license plate? That was pretty cool. I like that. Call people out.
Yep. But
especially to get to Walmart. That's all she was doing.
First of
wait
all,
to get to Walmart.
First of all, Dan, I think we need a ruling from the king, don't you?
Yes.
It's
Rule
uncalled
away, Your
for.
Majesty.
Uncalled for. Off with her head.
Okay, perfect. That's all we needed. Here's number 2. Now, it is motorcycle season, and there's signs up everywhere saying, be aware of motorcycles. Be alert.
You never know what they're going to do.
Oh, Lord.
So first of all, let's stop this for a second and go back, because the first maneuver done by the first motorcycle driver was not very safe.
Oh no.
That was kind of like a crossing, like an X crossing.
And he took the wrong exit.
Yeah. Oh.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't take the next exit safely either.
Shocking.
Very.
I understand the need to watch for motorcycles because they're smaller vehicles and they can maneuver a lot faster than you. But when they drive like jerks like that, and I'm cleaning up my language quite a bit, you know, that's what makes people not really look out for them as much, because you just don't know what they're going to do. And they're driving recklessly. And there's a lot more reckless driving on motorcycles, especially around California. But we won't even get into that. We'll just stick with what's on the screen there. But yeah, that one annoys me. And number 3.
Number 3 is a good one.
Oh, it is.
Oh, Lord.
It was pink. I promise.
So I am starting a poll, and this is going to be for the Blinker Fluid of the Week award winner. So Blinker Fluid of the Week. And you're going to have 3 to choose from this week.
Only 3. I wanted to make it a little bit more difficult.
Well, I think that you made it extremely difficult. And we're putting in the options now. And there it is. So you're going to vote 1, 2, or 3. And on 1, 2, or 3, let us know which one of the Blinker Fluid of the Week award winners you would like to award for their beautiful driving skills, I think is what we're going to go with today. Your Majesty is going with number 3. Now let me go in here to the chat and see what I missed here. And then we will get to the subject at hand. Lane Maybe says he got his hoodie today and he loves it. Thank you, Lane. I hope you wear it everywhere. And tell everybody to get on the YouTube channel and subscribe. That would be great. And ET Travel Freely, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you being here. And everybody's saying hello to ET. And Carl, are you still there?
I am here.
Okay. So I know that you weren't able to see any of that unless you were able to watch it on your phone while you were in the car. but probably not. But those motorcycle drivers were just out of line.
Oh, I could agree with that without even seeing the video.
Well, good. I'm glad that you agree with me blindly, and that is the type of loyalty that we give to our Your Majesty, King Charles. Thank you again, King Charles, for joining the program. So
even the blinker fluid bows.
Yes, even the blinker fluid bows to Your Majesty. So coming up in 2 weeks, we have the Wisconsin motor carriers, and actually it's through the ATA, isn't it, Carl? The Truck Driver Championship.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is it's a competition between truck drivers, and what happens is all the drivers from each state have their own competition in each state, and then at the end of the competition, there's a winner that is awarded, and that winner will then go on to a national championship, which is held in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then that driver is competes against all the other drivers that won first place, and then that driver is crowned. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, not crowned, awarded the Truck Driver Championship National Trophy. So there's a lot of bragging rights in store for the driver that does win the nationals, but just to win a state competition is an award that everybody can really try to achieve, but unless you work for XPO, you're not going to win it. Is that about right, Carl?
Maybe.
I don't know. I thought it was all ups.
Oh. Well, they're always up.
All those upsies.
They're always upset. But,
That's true.
Yes, they're just always upset. They're whining about something. And Carl wouldn't know anything about that. Oh, E.T. Travel Freely says, now we have a king, Charles, in Canada. And Cheesehead Media says, I haven't cared about the British monarch since April 19th, 1775. So Carl, why don't you go into detail on what is involved with the Truck Driver Championship?
Well, first of all, you're going to get, you have a driver's meeting. You talk about all the rules and regulations and stuff. They'll have a Q&A session based on each class. And then once that's done, you got to take a written test. I believe it's 50 questions on all different things when it comes to transportation. They got the history of it, emergency situations, a lot of the federal guidelines, acronyms, a lot of dates, a lot of numbers. They got a fire and hazmat quiz.
They even do a little bit of pop culture in there too, don't they?
Yeah, there's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, and Shade Tree.
The way things are now.
Well,
Chris, it's not going to be on the test.
Chris from Shade Tree America said they never had a competition when my dad drove semi, but I don't think that's accurate because we looked that up a couple weeks ago, and the competition started back in the 20s, didn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So the competition started in the 1920s. So if your dad drove truck before the 1920s, there wasn't a competition, but there's been one ever since then. So this is it used to be called the truck
Swift. He did put Swift in that comment.
Yeah, he said that unless you're a Swift driver.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, I was thinking maybe if he did drive for Swift, I haven't heard of any Swift winners yet.
Oh, Paul, You see, we bring King Charles over the pond to meet Paul, and what does he do? He bails.
Off
He
with
just
his
bails.
head.
Sorry, Paul. Hopefully you can make it next week. And then, so you go through the written test, and then there's a course, and that course is devised by basically the board, and there's somebody there that's there to supervise building the course. And with that course, there's a basic right turn. There's a railroad crossing. There's an alley dock. There's what am I missing, Carl?
Well, there could be parallel park, offset alley, the roadkill thing, the scale stop.
The scale stop, yeah.
Front stop. It seems like there's some other ones they got different names for, and to be quite honest, I haven't competed in a couple of years.
No, Carl will be very, very generous with him talking about how he hasn't competed in a couple of years, but that's only because he just showed everybody up in every time that he's ever been there. But then he held back so that somebody else could win. I mean, he's very, very humble.
Right, yeah, I figured I'd let somebody else take last place for once.
Hey, Ted, welcome in. Appreciate you being here, brother. Go ahead, Dan.
So with the railroad crossing, do you get more points for shifting twice over the tracks or 3 times?
Oh, it's quadruple score. Quadruple score. Yes.
That's all I needed to know.
The worst thing about it is, Dan, is that all of this is done in automatic transmissions.
Oh.
So you can't get any bonus points because the trucks shift themselves. And you can only drive the trucks under 5 miles per hour because every one of the trucks is a fleet truck. And if you go over 5 miles per hour, then you're going to trip the E-logs.
The tattletale.
Yes. So that makes it interesting. But and then after all that is done, there's also a pre-trip inspection. And what is involved in the pre-trip inspection, Mr. Karl Marx?
Well, that involves you inspect the unit where they place defects that could be an actual defect or a fake defect, I guess you could call it. And I've seen them, loosen up a lug nut, or they'll make a little squiggly mark on the rim with the Sharpie or one of the lenses. There's some pretty obvious stuff, but there's some other things that you really need to look for. But you also got to remember what not to look for, as far as opening up the hood, the trailer doors. You don't go actually underneath the equipment. So it's kind of changed up from what should be your normal routine of a post-trip, pre-trip, or even mid-trip inspection. You're looking for a lot of the same things, but you're also timed. And I want to say it was around 5 minutes, 7 minutes, to circulate the whole vehicle inside and out. And they tell you what not to do and what you should look for. And there's just some things they won't answer. You kind of have to go and use your best judgment. But there is a lot of normal things that you should really be looking for. But They can make it pretty hard though.
Yeah, but a lot of it too is really obvious, because like they'll put something in the fifth wheel with a piece of paper on it saying what it is.
Right. Yep. You know, or they'll put a big oil spot underneath the, you know, by the tire or something. You know, for like a you know, a hub leak.
Right.
But some of them they're pretty clever with some of their defects that they plant.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And when I went through and I did my pre-trip inspection, I only missed one, and I only missed one because I forgot to check the seat belt on the passenger side, and that was the one that was defective, and so I missed one on my pre-trip inspection when I competed.
Have so many passengers.
Right, right.
See, that's interesting because I never did that. Well, I don't think I did, but there's a few times. Yeah, I didn't even bother checking that thing.
Yeah. So, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's on the truck. You should be touching it and checking it. And you know, now there are some qualifications that you have to meet in order to compete. And Carl, would you like to get into that?
Sure. Now, some things may have changed, but I know some of the obvious ones. In order to compete, you have to be in good standing with the company.
Yep.
You have to be accident-free for the whole year.
Yep.
From competition to competition.
Now, that's not only in your truck; that's also in your personal vehicle.
Correct. You have to have all the actual license to operate the vehicle.
Right.
What? No.
Yeah, believe it or not, I was surprised. Trying to think, Jason, of some of the other ones.
That's pretty much all it is, and
Right.
so as long as you have all that, you're basically good to go. And this is going to be taking place in Appleton, Wisconsin this year, and Karl Marx says that he is definitely going to be there. This is going to be not only a truck driving championship, but it's a come and meet Karl Marx in person, and it's May 19th.
Approved.
It is May 19th and the 20th, and they need volunteers, and they're never going to turn down a volunteer. So if you are in the area and you want to start, or if you want to help out with judging, concession workers, just going around cleaning up trash, there's always something that they can put you to work doing. So if you're interested, I'm going to put up here on the in the chat, or not in the chat, but right there is the email address, kconrad@ytruck.org. If you would like to become a volunteer, you can email her, let her know that you are interested, and you know, you can ask her what she needs people to do over there at the championship. Haley and I are going to be there on Friday, and we're going to be helping setting up the road course for the drivers, and so you can come and see us and say hi. You can come out and volunteer. There's lots of stuff you can do, and then like I said, our good friend Carl is going to be there autographing photos and taking photos with everybody. So you definitely want to be there, and if you're lucky, Droning Veteran will give you a sticker.
Do we get pictures with Carl?
Oh yeah. You can get a picture with Carl kissing you on the cheek.
Oh, I love it.
The kissing on the cheek costs extra though.
Oh,
Right.
Let's see here. Cheesehead Media says have a license. That means that leaves most of the residents of Milwaukee, Wisconsin disqualified. Sorry, Milwaukee residents, you're all disqualified.
I got my license from a Cracker Jack box. It's tasty.
Thank you for coming in, Divin AA. Here's the fifth wheel. Thanks for the kiss. And, you know, Carl gives really good kisses on the cheek. I have that on good authority from a friend I know. And King Charles, he gives the best air kisses with the fingers. He does. Thank you, Your Majesty, for blessing us all with the kisses. And just because I did mention his name and that he was going to be there, I just want to solidify that just by
You're watching JJDrones on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Karl Marx. You're watching JJDrones on YouTube.
I'm Karl Marx, and I approve this message.
There you go. It's Karl Marx approved. So
And blinker fluid approved too.
Absolutely, 100% blinker fluid approved. Speaking of which, let's do a blinker fluid update, and let's see here. Dan, do you have that pulled up, or no?
No, I don't have anything pulled up.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I don't. Can I get? Oh wait, maybe I can. Well, let's see. I can report it and I can dismiss it. Oh,
No,
there
that's-
we go. We have 9 volts, and so far 100% is for number 3. Shocker.
Wow, unanimous. That is crazy. So we still got people in the chat that haven't voted. So make sure that you vote in our Blinker Fluid of the Week award winners, because whoever wins this is going to go into our Blinker Fluid of the Year award winning competition at the end of the year. So and we thank all of the people of Utah for participating in our competition.
They love it.
They do. And you know what? They're always so eager to help us out on a day-to-day basis, aren't they, Dan?
Oh, very eager. You know, I was like, man, they were being nice to me today, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 like 3 in a row.
I do plan on emailing the mayor of Salt Lake City to give our appreciation for the cooperation of the city of Salt Lake City.
They are very, very helpful in this.
Lane maybe says, Uncle Dan, you always have to be prepared.
Yes, you do. Head on a swivel.
So, there's another thing that we're going to talk about. And, Carl, well, I've asked you a lot of questions. I'm going to ask King Charles this question. Your Majesty, what is an essential worker?
It would be my servants.
Well, yeah, all of your servants, even the ones that clean between your toenails. I'm sure that they're very, very essential. Dan, what would be an essential worker?
I got tricked into this question once. I don't like it. Oh, you're essential.
Carl, what's an essential worker?
I would say somebody that is necessary for life, community, economic.
So, according to the Department of Homeland Security, an essential worker are those who conduct a range of operations and services that are typically essential to continuous critical infrastructure operations. So, Dan, would a truck driver be critical or an essential worker?
Yes, of course it would, but a cook would not be, because we don't need people to cook for us, because we're not working. And
actually, Your Majesty would probably disagree with you, would you not, Your Majesty?
Off with his head.
Off with my head.
Your Majesty would not survive without his cooks. Is that correct?
I love
There
Burger
you go.
King.
Exactly. Me too.
Carl, we're at an age post-COVID where we've gotten to the point where we've kind of forgotten who helped us get through all that. And an essential worker would probably be somebody that basically was able to help us get through all that, wouldn't it be?
I would agree, yes.
So truck drivers, grocery store workers, plumbers, electricians, car people that work on your cars, plumbers, electricians, all these people. The only people that wouldn't be an essential worker would, I don't know, politician.
Right?
Athletes. I mean, even athletes were a critical part of getting back to normalcy, because during the pandemic, we still had that nagging feeling that we were missing something, and that the athletes still went out there and played football and or basketball or whatever. They just did it without the fans in the stands, right? So that was a way that we were able to actually still continue to have a normal way of surviving. And Dave, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you being here. And I also, hey, Bobby, appreciate you being here too. Thank you so much for coming in. Healthcare workers, absolutely. Healthcare workers were essential. We could have gotten through what we did without the healthcare workers. We couldn't have gotten through what we went through without truck drivers. Because even though we had the healthcare workers, and even though we had all of the people working on everything, there was only one way to distribute it. And what way was that, Carl?
That would be the truck driver.
And do you remember, and I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this like it was yesterday, watching the first trucks pulling out of the facility down there in Michigan with the vials of the immunization. They were first pulled out of there on a FedEx truck going from there over to New York.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah. And you were very disappointed. But Chris says I was laid off and told I was essential after being home for 3 months. Yes, postal workers. Postal workers were essential. And the postal workers were more in danger than pretty much anyone else because they were always going house to house. Yes, Your Majesty.
They're essential unless it snows in front of your mailbox.
That is very true, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Your Majesty, for bringing that back to the forefront, because you were absolutely correct. But I don't think that was a postal service that wasn't essential. I think it made my mailbox non-essential. Just putting that out there for the universe. So, number one is the reason that I'm bringing this up is because we've got a whole bunch of youngsters that are going to be graduating at the end of the month, right, Carl?
Right.
And what's the first thing that everybody's going to tell that youngster to do once they graduate high school?
To go to college.
Now,
Get yourself
how
in
much
debt over your head?
So does anybody have any idea how much the average cost of college is in this country?
60,000.
Very close.
75?
Million?
Million? Gazillion?
75 million. It really depends by state. Now, if you're going to be going in for a 4-year degree, okay, and we're just talking about a 4-year degree at the state level, okay, this is rated by state. This is this year's numbers. Average cost of in-state tuition and fees from most expensive to least expensive. And now this isn't like your Ivy League schools or anything like that. Now, once you get into that, you're going to pay a premium. And if you're going to be going to one of these colleges from an out-of-state perspective, you're going to pay more. But this is just in-state tuition and fees per year. And
that does
Vermont
not include room and board, right? No room and board?
Right. That's not room and board. This is just state tuition and fees. So in the state of Vermont, you're going to pay the most per year at $17,593 per year. The cheapest state is $4,541. And that is Florida. So if you want to do
well, you know why that is, right?
Why is that?
Because they're in the salty nether regions of the American.
Because Florida man is the one teaching all the courses. But
I'll take my own head off.
But, there's a map here, and if you want to look at this map, it's the average cost of college for in-state students, and I believe that this is at a 4-year, at the end of 4 years, how much it would cost. Nationwide, though, in-state room and board costs account for additional, are you ready for this? $11,686 per year on average. Think about that. $11,686 per year you're going to be paying for a dorm. And maybe you're going to get a meal or two out of that. Carl, do you think that sounds economical?
No.
And then the other question that I have is, you're just out of high school. What do you know about finances?
Well, not a whole lot.
Dan, you're right. Absolutely. Congratulations. That is we call that the King Charles principle. The King Charles principle.
Hey, I have checks, so I must have money, right?
Right? Exactly. Miss Haley says, fun fact, the college will let you starve even for those costs. Your Majesty.
I don't know if you were leading up to this, if this was the long version or what, but in terms of like a CDL training course, what would the fees be correlated? And, how much can you save if you sleep in your cab like you do? Like, give us some numbers here, brother.
Okay, I'll give you a number. How about 0? How about it costs you absolutely nothing to learn to be a truck driver?
There's no fees incurred at all.
The only fee that you would have is to get your learner's permit and then to get your CDL after you pass your license. That's the only fees. And what is that, Carl? Like $300?
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
if somebody wants to go to CDL school, obviously that's going to cost some money.
Well, I don't know.
Absolutely.
You're looking.
Absolutely.
Well, now in Utah, I don't know. Maybe it's not just. Maybe I thought it was nationwide, but I think you have to actually go to an accredited school.
Okay. Now you can still go to. You can still go to Sierra England. You can still go to Prime.
Yes.
You can still go to Swift. You can go to all the major carriers.
Oh, yeah, that is true. And
because they all got the exemption. They all got the exemption. So all you have to do is go work for one of those carriers for 2 years, and you will get it for absolutely nothing.
Except for 2 years of your life.
2 years out of your.
You're better off to just pay a couple $1,000s.
Well, and then if you're ex-military and you have the GI Bill, you can use the GI Bill to go to school.
Yep.
So ex-military, you've already got a way in, and there's other ways that some states. I know Michigan used to have this, where the state would actually pay for your truck driving school if you choose to go down that career path. So there's so many ways that you can get into truck driving for absolutely zero cost, other than the cost of your permit and the cost of your CDL. And then all you have to do is make sure that you study for your tests and pay attention when you're taught how to do stuff. And you can be a truck driver. And the average salary of a truck driver right now in the U.S. is right around $43,000 a year. And that's the average salary. Now, if you get with a company like Brakebush, you're going to be starting off at a higher salary. But if you start at somebody like Swift or Knight or one of the large mega carriers, you're going to start out at a lower number. But as soon as you pass that 2-year contract, you can go off to any other trucking company that you want to. I was told when I was training that being a truck driver after your first year, and now I would say 2 years, is the closest you're going to be to being a free agent than any other position in the U.S. Would you agree with that, Carl?
Yeah.
Bobby says join the Army and get college free. I mean, that's another way to go. Haley says save $20,000 and go to community college and live at home. And Chris says, I saw many people get bachelor degrees and are dumber than a box of rocks. College is overrated. On-the-job training is the best way to go. And that is a great segue into the next slide that I have here. And I'm going to bring that up right here. Sorry, Carl, I came prepared, and I'm sorry you didn't come prepared. Next time, do your homework.
Next time. Yeah, sorry.
Pay for better internet.
It's the iPhone that he's using. Anyways, moving on.
Stupid iPhones.
Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't even be able to hear him if he was on an Android. Just saying.
Oh, well, the only reason that we're having this conversation is because of an Android, but,
Where's R2D2 at?
Well, he's hiding backstage with, over there with Carl. But patrol officer is the #1 highest paying job without a degree, and I disagree with that. This is just a ranking by best jobs by U.S. News and World Report. They don't even have truck driving listed on here. But patrol officer, the median salary is $64,610. The only education that is needed is high school, and I believe that you probably have to go through some other formal training. But projected jobs in the future is $21,500. Second highest paying is executive assistant. But if you look at projected jobs, it's negative $102,600. So I wouldn't, and this is why it's important that when you go to college, if you do go to college, and hi Drew, thank you so much for coming in. If you do go to college, make sure that you go and you study for a career that is actually going to be needed. Because if you go to school for, let's say, underwater basket weaving, the only people that you're going to be, or the only job you're going to have in the future is teaching other people on how to do underwater basket weaving, right?
I've been doing that for 2 years. Now you
have you? Yeah, that's what I've been telling you. I'm sorry, Dan. So make sure when you go and you try and get a degree that you get a degree in something that is actually going to be of use. But you don't have to go to college. This list is all full of jobs that you can do without a degree that you can actually make decent money at. Flight attendant, $61,640 as a medium salary. Sales representative, sound engineering technician, electrician, plumber, hearing aid specialist, a brick mason or a block mason, structural iron and steel worker, wind turbine technician. All these are jobs that you don't need a college degree for, and you can actually make a decent living. Heck, you can work driving a forklift at a Walmart distribution center and make well over $60,000 a year. You got sheet metal worker, firefighter, insurance sales agent, computer support specialist, bus driver, surgical technologist, and I'm sure that you have to get some sort of training in that, but you don't need a college degree. Equipment operator, you have to get some sort of certification for that, but you don't need a college degree. Real estate agent, you have to get certification for that. Again, no college degree. Carpenter, licensed practical and licensed vocational nurse, solar installer, cement mason and concrete finisher, glazier, actor. There's so many positions out there that if you don't feel like you are going to be a good fit for going to college, you don't have to. We have positions available. There's auto mechanics, diesel mechanics. Right now, if you go on the Micro Works website, and Micro is a huge proponent of the trades, and if you go on his website, he's got a list of all these job openings that don't require a degree, and some that just you need training, like a diesel mechanic or an auto mechanic, something like that. As long as you're willing to do the hard work, they're willing to train you. And he's got a list of thousands of jobs that are open and available for you to do, and you can actually make a decent living. Carl, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. You know, I obviously been out of school for a while, but, you know, I was never told any of that stuff amongst a lot of my peers. You know, it was always look at, you know, some of the highest paying jobs, or stuff that was, you know, reaching for the stars, that it's pretty much impossible. But I was never told, you know, about truck driving or trade work with electrician, mechanics, carpenter, you know, fireman. So I really wish that would be introduced more, instead of some of the stuff that it's very few and far between that you're going to amount to something in that field, as far as, you know, like athletics or dramatic theory, or, you know, now they got a lot of the social media influencer stuff. You know, I really wish they would just teach more, you know, with, you know, like the business and economics, you know, the mechanics, work ethic, finance. I was never one for foreign language, but now if I could go back in time, I would probably take a few classes in that. I didn't think I would need that, but I think it would be beneficial these days.
Absolutely, 100%. And Chris from Shade Tree America does make a valid point that many of these jobs need a trade school degree. And even if you do need a trade school degree, there are some states that will actually help you get into the trade school. And and you're still not going to spend nearly as much as you would going to a 4-year college.
Right.
And then Brian asks, is a glazier the person who put the frosting on Quick Trip donuts? And yes, sir. Absolutely. And Drew wants to know if the rain stopped, Dan.
Oh, yes, finally. Well, it was sprinkling earlier, so it's still hit and miss, but not bad.
Brian says, I honestly believe high school guidance counselors get a kickback for every student they send off to a 4-year college. And I don't have any way to prove that either one way or the other, Brian. And, you know, you're more than welcome to your opinion, and I thank you for that. But the biggest thing of it is that kids, if you don't feel like you're a good fit for college, don't go to college. Explore your other options, because there are other options out there. Because in the end, you're going to have to pay that money back, right?
Right.
Yeah. And you know, if you have $100,000 in debt for learning underwater basket weaving, you're not going to pay that off very easily. Yes, Your Majesty.
I have to object with your statement there. This current administration has abolished a lot of those loan payments, so carry on.
Yes, you are correct. They have frozen the loan payments, but they haven't abolished them. They're still out there. You still have to pay them eventually, unless something happens to where everybody gets a debt forgiveness. But in the end, that's just going to be going backwards. That's not going forwards. And we're going to have to see how that works out in the Supreme Court. TJ Giggles, Farts, and Drones, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Chris from Shade Tree says, I always suggest doing vocational school if available. That's how I got my diesel certification. Well, that's perfect. And even in my small town, in my small high school, they had a trade. They had a tech ed that you could take during your high school where you could actually learn how to become a carpenter, how to be an electrician, how to be a mechanic. You know, you had all of these options that you could do, and we do need, like my stepmom says, times have changed so much over the years. We need trade schools so much now, and that the problem being is that we've gone through all of these years and we've told everybody, you have to go to college, you have to go to college. And we have all these people out there with all these different degrees, but we're not sending people out to learn how to become a plumber, how to become a pipe fitter, how to be a carpenter. I don't know how many people that are able to put together, you know, a house, or how to build a garage, or how to work on their own cars other than Carl. Carl will be working on everybody's cars. That's in the chat today. So congratulations. That's what everybody gets as a prize. And he'll give you a kiss on the cheek after he's done. But so it's important that we have these skills available out there, because eventually the older generation that is doing all of this work is not going to be able to be there forever. We need the younger generations to step up and do the work, and they can't just be sitting on their PlayStation all day or behind a computer screen. They have to go out there and do the work. They have to learn that there is value in hard work. Yes, sometimes you have to learn, sometimes you have to try and work smarter and not harder, but there is value in work. And we need to teach our children that. We need to teach them at an early age. We need to get them out there. We need to have them mowing lawns. We have to have them raking yards. We have to get them out there and learn how to change a tire. Teach them how to change the oil on your car instead of taking it to the quick lube. I mean, do something that gives them a skill. Because if they don't have that skill, what are they going to do when there's nobody else to do it? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. And that is, I'm going to get off my soapbox now, but I think it's an important message that needs to be going out there to everybody, because I don't think that there's going to come a time that we don't have, there's going to come a time that we're not going to have the people out there to do the job that needs to be done.
Exactly. And if people don't learn how to do it, you know, it is getting sad on the, you know, you look at the, like the minimum wage, you know, people flipping burgers for $15 an hour. You know, what about the people that was working their heinies off to earn that $15 an hour, and then it was just given to them?
Right.
And the people making the $15 an hour didn't get the raise to accommodate from it.
Exactly. And the people don't understand is that the more you raise minimum wage, the more
burger costs at Burger King.
Exactly.
King Charles.
We have to keep paying King Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Because Your Majesty needs his money. And with that, we're going to go to our results from our Blinker Fluid of the Week award contest. And are you ready for the results, Mr. Dan?
Mm-hmm. Cheesy and chewy. I like it.
And the winner is number 3.
I like it.
Blinker Fluid of the Week. And that was Mr. Pink.
I'm gonna give you some, King Charles.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen, folks. You go 1, 2, 3. I'm 3. I'm the winner of the week.
You are. That's why I was giving you some Blinker Fluid.
That's right, and it's enchilada flavored, Your Majesty. So I hope that you enjoyed the enchilada flavored, and
and cheesy.
And make sure that you.
I will enjoy it very much. I'll be prepared.
And you'll be happy to know, Dan, is that Your Majesty has promised to send you a full bottle of Pepto-Bismol for your Cinco de Mayo celebration.
Oh, I'm gonna need it. I appreciate it.
Let's see here. Chris says definitely going to need electricians since New York banned gas stoves and furnaces. Well, we're going to need electricians for a lot more than that, especially when we get more electric cars on the road. And that's just something that's going to be happening in the future. And but we've hit our hour mark. We've actually gone over a little bit. Carl, I appreciate you being on here. And if you want to try or call in for the After Dark, you're more than welcome to do so. Dan, always a pleasure, and good job again with Blinker Fluid videos. And Your Majesty, you have graced us with your presence, and I will do your parting music for you as you leave. And I will see you at the After Dark as well, Mr. Maybe.
Of course.
Or maybe not.
We'll see everybody. Have a great weekend or a great week ahead.
Yes, sir. And I just want to thank everybody for coming in today. I wanted to do a little bit of talking on the trades, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the Truck Driver Championship. Again, if you are interested in volunteering and you are in the Appleton area, or if you're going to be in the area itself, all you have to do is email Kim over there at the Wisconsin Motor Carriers, and her email again is kconrad@ytruck.org, and let them know that you're a volunteer, and let them know that you heard it on the JJ Drones broadcast here, because we like to let them know when we reach out to them and actually do some good for that organization. I appreciate everybody for coming along for this ride with us, and I'll see you later on down the road. Bye, everybody.